Welcome to My Thoughts On, where I talk about things I have thoughts on. My name's Amanda Emanuel, and today we'll be talking about the death of Love is Blind.
So, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Why are you here?
What?
How old are you?
I'm 30.
Okay. So you're no longer attractive.
Oh my God.
Thoughts a lot. I listened to a Joe Rogan podcast once, and homes are so intricate underground. There's different powers out in the universe. Once you reach a certain energy and certain power, you can actually control the weather.
A very understanding person. Just like I understand his perspective, and I just know what he told me.
And I saw Daniel, I thought, he's so familiar to me. I have this like overwhelming feeling that when the doors opened last night, that was not the first time that he saw me.
I'm going to preface this and say this isn't a hate piece on Love is Blind. It's not. But as an avid Love is Blind watcher, from seasons, count with me, not 1, not 2. So start from 3. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 was like avid watcher. Like on the couch, my heart is beating. I'm excited. Let's go. I marked it in my mental calendar that the next season was coming out. I'm telling that people at work, you need to watch this show because I can't believe what I just saw.
Jessica. I've never been more sure that Chelsea...
And I shed tears for you knowing that you were going to get rejected.
Okay.
I had empathy for you, and that's why I'm so fired up, is because you're a shit person. And I feel bad for shedding a damn tear for you.
If he was missing a tooth, then I don't know, I'd probably run the other way. But, like, you wouldn't? Oh, my God. You know you would run, too. Like, a missing tooth. Come on. I spent thousands on my teeth. It's like, I have limits.
To this, I wanted to leave episode 1. I mean, there's really nothing else to say. Let's just get started. So for those of you like my mom who are watching and have never seen Love is Blind, what is it? Love is Blind is a reality TV show on Netflix where, I don't know, there's like 30 or 25, something like that, couples. They're going on a blind dating show. Literally. So there's a wall between them so they can't see each other. They have no idea what they look like. And the whole premise of the first 5, 6 episodes is to get to know the person's insides, to get to know who they are, how they click, like everything. So they go on these dates, and then at the end of like 10 days, somebody's got to propose. So you got to file it down to one person. Even if it's on like the last 10th day and a guy is between 2 girls, he's picking one of those girls and being like, oh, you, will you marry me? I've always loved you and I've never not loved you. And she goes, oh, I knew it. And then they go on a tropical paradise vacation with all the other couples that got engaged for like another week. And that's where all the drama ensues. That's step 2 of drama. The Paradise Week is always the just best week of just reality TV. So then they spend a week there, drama ensues. We'll talk about that more later. And then they go out for like another couple weeks into the real world, meet each other's families, meet the friends, whatever. And at the end of like a 2-month, 1-month process, you're standing in front of the altar. Well, the man is standing in front of the altar. The girl's, walking down the aisle in front of all your family and friends. And you have to decide, will I marry this? Like actually legally, who knows? Legally marry this person and promise to be with them forever in front of everyone I love who flew across the country? Or am I going to be the perfect couple the entire season and make everybody who's watching be like, oh yeah, he's going to say yes for sure. And then he goes, no, I don't think so. And then we're on the couch going, what? That's good television. That was Love is Blind. I don't know what the heck I just watched 2 days ago. All right. You get the premise of Love is Blind. let me talk about my opinion now. To preface what we're about to talk about, I don't have a script. I don't have any written down bullet points, which you would think would be like the most professional thing to do is like, hey, maybe you should write about what you're going to talk about. No, why do that when I could do it off the dome? So if I miss some points, it's because I didn't think about them in that moment. Or because I forgot. I got a little pea brain living up in here. So think of this as like me, you, two girlies sitting at lunch just talking about the new Love is Blind episode. And I don't got time to look at my notes. I only have time to talk off the dome so that we can bounce off ideas. So feel free to put all of your ideas, your comments as I'm going along in the comments below. Can you see my knee? My knee is right here. Okay. What was missing from this season compared to the last season? I don't want to say this is so hard to say properly without sounding absolutely rude. It's not that I don't want to see true love try to form on a reality TV show. I do. But I do need, because I am watching a show, a little mixture of both. What I think had happened was, in the beginning of Love is Blind, we had some drama people, but we also had some people who were trying to fall in love. I'm talking about, like, I didn't watch season 1 or 2. Seasons 3 kind of on. But as the show grew in popularity and as the show became, an office name, a girly talk name, literally, like, you'd say, I watched Love is Blind, and someone would be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe what happened in that episode. And be like, I know, like that type of name. People who began clout chasing started joining the show. And it was very obvious who was there to find love and who was there to become an influencer. And as the seasons now progressed, especially like this season and last season, it's almost as if we've left that influencers and it is back to people trying to find love, but in the most boring way possible. Because you know what was good about those influencers? They brought the television. The people who wanted to be famous just to be famous would fake cry on TV. Never forget about the guy who was in his interview and took out eye drops and dropped them in his eye and was like, all right, I'm ready to talk about it. And then he's laughing as tears are falling down his eyes. And he's like, oh, it was so sad that she didn't pick me. And
I never thought I could care for someone that would bring me to tears.
what? Like, that's what we're missing. But we're also missing some of the dangerous, chaotic energy. And maybe they are trying to screen people better. And I'm going to put all of the blame on that girl who was on, I believe, season 5 or 6. Or now works as casting on Love is Blind. And so she's vetting people. And she's vetting not crazy people, which is like good. And I know I sound insane talking about this, but I need the people who are just a tad bit unhinged, just a tad bit meant for reality television. Because you do have the people who are there and who do find love. And you do have the people who come out and they end up having babies. But I'm still watching a television show. And it's not like they aren't getting unhinged people, because this season had the most amount of men in it that I was cringing over. Like, they were trying to be the person who I am looking for in reality TV, but they did it so wrong, and it came off so off. I just spent 6 hours of my life in this last season to only have drama at the last 1 minute of the show. There was no lead up to it. And this could be all blamed also on the editing. There was nothing wrong with the editing per se, but in the sense that there was no lead up to the big drama, oh my God, reveal at the end. Back in the old days, Back in the old days, there would have been a lead up. He would have dropped some hints where he would have been like, oh my God, yeah, like on my Instagram, it's crazy. So the drama I'm alluding to at the very end, I watched 6 hours of this television show. And I mean, bored out of my mind. Well, I was painting, so I will preface, I was painting, and it was the first time I had painted in a long time. My painting is back there that I did. So I was concentrating on the paint this last season, so maybe I missed all the good stuff. Maybe I did. Maybe I'm the problem. I will preface that. Maybe I'm the drama. But what happened was I watched 6 hours of the show, and at the very last minute of the guy that she picked, she rolls her little chair over, she sits down or whatever, and she's like, I don't even remember the names. I don't remember the names, so I'm going to make them up. She's like, David. She's like, I believe he knew who I was the entire time. I believe that he followed me on Instagram before the show started and then pretended he didn't know me. And then while we were in the pods, realized that was me and then chose me based off of that. And I'm watching like, here we go. Here we go. Is this somebody's first day at editing? Finally, some good stuff. Finally, some crazy stuff. And that's because that was the stuff I loved about Love is Blind. The absolute unhinged stuff. Do you remember that one time? It was a handful of seasons ago. And this is what I'm talking about. And people were like, it was kind of like the vibe like, did they not do the casting right? No, they did the casting perfectly. This was perfect casting. The couple sit down for their first pod talk ever. And the girl goes like, hi. And the guy's like, hey. And then she goes, Uchi? And then he goes, you know me? And she's like, I'm paraphrasing, but she was pretty much like, yeah, we dated before. And he goes, Lydia? Oh my God. And that was the best crazy drama because the producers pulled him on the side and they're like, do you want to continue going? Because you can. And they're just like, yeah, we're not going to date each other. We'll date other people and we'll just keep our little trap shut that we actually know each other. Oh my God. In a show where you're not supposed to know what the other person looks like and you sit down, you recognize their voice and you freaking dated them. Like that's the good stuff. And I'm not saying to like write it out like that, but you had it in your freaking hands that this guy, this last season, followed maybe her on Instagram before the show, knew what she looks like, and you don't tell me until the end of the episode, like the end of the 6 seasons. No, you're supposed to lead up to that. You're supposed to show me the trail of her thinking about like something or it clicking in her brain. You know what I mean? And where is like the good stuff? You know what I'm talking about. In season 2, I guess I did watch season 2. And season 2, when Shane walks in and he goes,
Talking to you?
I don't know. Take a guess.
No, Shayna, there you go.
What?
No, that's what I was hoping for. What are you wearing over there? Hello? Hello? Shayna, stop.
It's Natalie.
Of course.
God, that was so good. Or do you remember they had 2 mean girls on that season? Freaking Irina and the other girl, Micah.
I'm laughing. How do you you're kind of crying? But what you saying over there?
Go stand by the thing and listen. No, but don't be obvious. Don't let them see you.
That's not what he wanted, and that's okay. But I'm just like, you could have been a little bit more forthcoming about where you were at instead of just telling me what I wanted to hear, because now I feel like a fucking idiot because I believed you. When's it gonna be my turn?
I know.
How many times do you see her have to be broken, Figures that, abort.
It's like listening and like laughing to her cry and then just runs back and she's like, I'm caught. And she's like, Where is that energy? Instead, we got this whole season where all the girls freaking love each other. They're like, you're dating so-and-so? Oh, that's so sweet. I hope. I'm not the only one who feels this. Because unless they pick up the editing, I'm not finishing the rest of this season. It's dead. It's gone. And even last season, I felt the energy too. It wasn't its classic goodness, you know. There is a formula for a good Love is Blind. My hair. I need to set up a wall so you can't see me. There's a formula for a good Love is Blind season that will just unfold itself. And if that formula doesn't take place, it's gonna be a boring season. So I'll finish my previous thought and then go on to that one. My previous thought, I will not be finishing this season, and I'll try the next season to see if they took my critiques, but most likely not. And I think this is the end for me in Love is Blind. Like, it really is. Unless they pick it up, unless I see people talk about it, like, and be like, oh my God, they're bringing it back again, like the good. I'm not gonna talk. Ignore my bangs. I don't have a hairdryer here, so I've been just making the best of it. I'm really not going to keep watching it. And, okay, back to what I had been saying. I already forgot. The formula for a good Love is Blind season is this. The first episode will always be boring. It will. I understand that. But I don't expect six boring episodes. That's it. I'm not going to continue off of that. The first episode will always be boring. It's introductions. Okay? And then in the second episode, the couple that is the strongest will propose to each other. Sometimes you get that in episode 1, like a really strong, but you usually ends with a twist or ends with some like episode 1 ends with a twist, ends with someone proposing, or ends with some, hi Tyler. My husband, when I used to watch Love is Blind, I used to pretend that I was on the show and my husband would be on the other side of it. And I used to be like, would I have picked him? Would I have picked him? Yes, I would have. I would have been one of the boring couples. I would have been the one where my radar, right when I get to Tyler, and then I would have just locked on you and stayed with you the whole time. That's what all the boring couples do. But, like, they're the good ones. They're the ones who are actually there for love. Good G2G. All right. Episode 3. Now we're getting to the meat and potatoes. We need to have a two-way established. We need to have a girl who can't choose between two boys, or a girl or a boy who can't choose between two girls. And then when you have them like this, okay, he can't choose between two girls, but those girls also are dating other men who they can't choose between. So it's kind of like this like mishmash, and it's all crazy. And people are starting to get crazy. And we've got a couple slip-ups here and there. That's a good episode 3. You know, episode 4, we got more proposals. By episode 5, that guy or girl who has to decide between two girls has already made a decision. That leaves one girl who's like, I still want to be on the show. Let me panic pick somebody. So she panic picks somebody, says that person has always been the love of their life, and then eventually they will get engaged. Season 6, everyone's in a freaking tussle. It's like episode 6, the fox is in the hen house. Everyone's freaking out. And honestly, 6 episodes is a lot for the pods. I really don't like a 6 episode. Give me like a 4 or a 5. 6 is a little dragged on, but whatever. If there's formula is now 6 episodes, I'll tell you how to format it. The fox is in the hen house. Everyone's freaking out. Everyone's trying to find partners because we want as many people to go to the tropical, like to go to the retreat. And what ends up happening if the formula is formed correctly, if the beauty is formed, like if it's a perfect season where at the end of that I'm going, this is gonna be good, is if that guy who could not choose between the two girls chose one of them, left a different one, and she chose someone else, now they're both gonna be on the retreat. Oh, that's good television. Because he's gonna see, because he rarely likes the girl he actually picked, and he likes he'll end up liking the other girl. So then they'll flirt at the pool party. They'll say inappropriate things they're not supposed to say. And then drama ensues. And we know one couple at the very end of the show will probably actually be the couple that's in love. And whatever. But that is the good television. And what is with all these reveals of everyone like loving each other? Where's my Zach and Irina of reveal?
Hi.
Hey.
Good to see you.
Nice to meet you finally.
You want to sit down?
Yeah,
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, this is so weird.
it is pretty weird.
Do you feel like I'm anything you thought I would look like?
You look exactly like what I thought you'd look like. Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Except for you're taller.
I'm taller?
Mm-hmm. Which is a plus, actually. Yeah. I like taller girls. Do I look like what you thought I looked like?
I had no guesses of what you look like. You have like the blankest stare in your eyes. You're like this.
Really? I'm just kind of taking it all in.
Me too. I don't know why you look like a fictional character. You look like something out of like a cartoon.
I know.
You have to blink.
I am blinking.
You don't blink. You literally look like this.
I am blinking. I will try not to be too intense. I'll try to blink more for you.
That was the absolute best reveal. I made my roommate I made her watch the entire season, like, of the pods of Zach and Irina for that one moment that they walk out to each other and he's like, you look like a cartoon. And she goes, you ever thought about blinking? And she's like, you ever blinked before? And you can tell they do not vibe. That is good television. And I don't know if they did choose a lot better people. Like, I can tell that both parties have gotten respectably more attractive. The women have usually always been very beautiful. The men, fugly. Remember I told you I always pretend that I'm in the pods? So then sometimes I'll listen and be like, oh, I'd probably pick him. And then if I would have seen him, I would have been so mad because they don't pick cute people. They picked a lot more cute people this season around. So maybe that's why people were more okay with it. But I just love when they walk out and they're like, what was I going to say? I'm trying to stick primarily to the pods drama because that's all there was to offer so far in season 8 because that's all we've seen. Now, if you don't have those couples that already have that connection, like I said, where you need the guy who had both the girls he couldn't choose from be on the show together. I say the guy with both the girls because typically if a girl's trying to decide between guys, like, she'll kind of be like, oh, you're cute, you're not, you're cute, but she's typically more loyal to the man that she chose. And as much as I like that loyalty, it is more entertaining when the man goes, because he's kind of like, I can't choose. And you're like, she's not an option anymore. But he's like, I can't choose anymore. I want her. And you're like, she's not an option anymore. But this season, it seemed like, so we were going to have that occur, and we were going to have some good television like that. There was a couple that he couldn't decide between the two girls, and then the one girl, she decided to go with someone else, I believe, leaving one more, that one he couldn't decide, leaving her, Meg, I believe. Yeah, Meg. And he was like, in his head, he was like, oh, I can't have the other girl. Perfect. I'll just have Meg. And it wasn't just her. There was a couple other, was it Madison? I don't think eventually got chosen either. It was her and Madison, Meg and Madison in this last season, where they didn't end up, they said like no to their men pretty much. And it felt like a Jessica moment, but not in a good way. It felt like they wanted to have their Jessica moment, where Jessica didn't end up getting picked, but she still ended. That was the last season of greatness, was that Jessica and the girl who said she looked like, and she did, who said she looked like Megan Fox. That was the last great season of Love is Blind. They wanted their Jessica moment, where Jessica was like, you can't decide between me and this girl. When you see me, you are going to realize what you missed out on.
See and realize what you missed out on. You are going to choke.
And that was such a bomb, like a killer last sentence to her man. And I felt like Megan in this season and Madison were trying to have their Jessica moment, where they're like, no, we don't deserve you. We're just going to leave. But it didn't come off well. It kind of came off like, then why did I watch 3 hours of this romance when he didn't even get anyone either? This was a waste of my time. Okay, how to fix it? If they had made this season 4 episodes in the pod, I think that pacing would have made it more entertaining. I do. It was almost as if they wanted us to get to know them more, of like who they are as a person, because we're watching them talk a lot more about their personal opinions, their political, their religion, like their religious opinions, everything, which I'm glad they're talking about it in the pods. But me as a viewer, I really, show me a clip that you're talking about it and then move on. I'm not here to listen to Politics is Blind. I'm not here to listen to Religion is Blind. I'm here to watch Love is Blind. Drama is Blind. You know what I mean? That was my critique on that. Is I'm like, the pacing is off. The drama is off. And it doesn't, you know what? It doesn't have to be drama. I'm pressing so hard on the drama. The entertainment is off. It was boring. I have no interest in watching the next episodes that are released. I think I can remember 2 of their names. It just didn't have that je ne sais quoi. It didn't have that sparkle. And I don't know where it lost its sparkle. It could have been in the, I was going to say overconsumption, but that's not it. The overexposure of Love is Blind, and then the culture of them trying to, it's not even actually find love, but like seeing how others messed up when they're trying to obviously be there to be an influencer. So now they're pretending they're not there to be an influencer. Or maybe it's the casting. They're not casting people with any personalities. Like, we got Megan, who's like me, and just will not, I don't think her name's Megan. Megladorian? She said her name. I don't remember. We're like, Meg, who's like me, she will not stop talking. I think when Meg was talking to her dude, he had 3 sentences in that 6 hours of conversation. That's me. I don't need to hear about her aliens idea that aliens are real. And like, you can like place it, but I don't need I'm not exaggerating, a 15-minute, I may be exaggerating, it was probably 5-minute explanation about the aliens in Egypt. I don't. Because am I watching the History Channel? Am I watching Ancient Egypt? What is that show? Ancient History? What's the guy who goes, aliens? No. I'm watching Netflix reality television. I sound like such a major hater, but I am. And there's nothing else I can say about that. I was just sad. I don't know what else to say. I was just sad when I watched the episode. And the only thing I could think about, I even wrote it down in my notes. After episode 1, I was like, if I was not making this video, I would have turned it off. If I was not, because this wasn't the video I was planning on making. I wanted to be like Kenny JD. Girl, if you're watching this, hit me up. No, I wanted to be like them, and I was going to recap the entire season. I have pages and pages of notes of what was happening. That was before I started painting because I needed something else to stimulate my brain. And the video I was going to do was like my thoughts on the newest season of Love is Blind. And I was just going to talk about what happened and then be like, oh, wasn't it crazy when this drama happened? Wasn't it crazy when she chose him instead of him than him? But I'm watching it and I'm like, I wish I was watching my K-drama. I wish I was watching my paint dry. My literal paint dry is what I would have rather been doing, and what I was doing instead of watching this show. I know it sounds hater. I know it sounds drama. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave in the comments below what you thought of the newest season, if you loved it, or if you sided with me. But I'm sure I missed a lot of the craziest things that had happened in Love is Blind. But I was really disappointed, and I know that sounds so dramatic that I was disappointed in a reality TV show, but I was disappointed that it was boring. Give me some entertainment or give me nothing, and it gave me nothing. So I won't be finishing it up. I'll probably watch other people talk about it just because I like that kind of videos, that kind of stuff. And if it ends up being interesting, then I'll watch it, but probably not. All right. You will not see me watching season 9 either, so thank you again. Bye. Subscribe if you haven't. I'm just a girl living in captivity. Is that the words? So I'm just a girl trying to talk about Love is Blind.